Hey gang, this is Mike with my real estate dojo, and today's lesson's about a question my friend on Facebook asked me. His name is Flores. It's a great question. He asked me, Mike, what is the difference between hard money lending versus private money? So Flores, thank you so much for asking that question. I'm going to go ahead and dive in and get started. But before I do, I want to put out this warning sign that, number one, I personally do not believe in debt, and I don't recommend people to borrow money if you don't know the basics of business and you haven't actually gone out there and hit some home runs back to back and you're a professional. So don't borrow money. I'm going to show you a better way to get deals by structuring terms using creative financing, your imagination to get deals. And so coming back to the subject, what is the difference between hard money and private money? Now, before I dive in, I want to let you guys know that I'm not an expert in borrowing money because, again, I don't believe in borrowing money. But I do know what they are. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. Okay? Simply put, a private money versus hard money is that a private money is somebody that's not a professional, okay? And that's not a really good word, and I'll explain to you a little bit later, but it's not a professional. For example, it could be your grandma, it could be your brother, it could be your sister, it could be your cousin, it could be, some family member, okay? They're not professional. They're not running ads out there that says, hey, we'll lend money, okay? And where hard money lending, they're professionals. This is what they do. This is what they make their food on their bread. This is what how they make a living. And so they're professionals where private money is usually not professional. Now, I could get in trouble saying that because, for example, I could be a private money lender, but I'm professional. I know what I'm doing. Or somebody else can be an investing company and they could be private money, but they're professional. Or somebody might be a business owner, let's say they own a moving company, or they own a hair salon, and they may have a couple $100,000 in their banking account. And since they're not professional in real estate, but they're still professional in business. So when I say private money is not professional, they're not professional lenders. They're not a bank. They're not an institution in a sense, okay? This is not how they put food on the table every day. They may have a different hustle. They may have a full-time job, or they may own multiple car wash businesses or carpet cleaning or a moving company or whatever, okay? And they may have money in there, and you approach them and you ask them to want to invest with you. Instead of taking that their savings, just sitting there not getting no money, no interest, very, very little if they're at the right bank, they put it into a real estate deal. So simply put, private money is they're not professionals in lending money. They could be people like individuals, they could be companies. Like, what do I mean by companies? For example, if I know you and I think you're a good guy and you have a good deal, I'm not a hard money lender, but I might lend you money through my Dr. Move company, okay? And my Dr. Move will lend out money, okay? Not that I say I do that, but just giving you an example where my moving company is not even an investing business, but they have money and it's a good deal. I get a good return, and the company may lend you money. So this is how it could be a company instead of an individual. So private money, you could be an individual like your mom, your cousin, your sister, your friends of the family, etc. Or it could be a business, like totally different business, like some kind of LLC or some kind of Inc. or some paint company or carpet cleaning. It doesn't matter. Some kind of corporation is going to lend you the money and get a return on their investment. So now we identify what private money is, okay? And now let's talk about hard money. Now, hard money is different than, let's say, a conventional loan, like a bank. Hard money, they're not banks, they're not an institution, and they usually focus on real estate, okay? They're not so credit sensitive. but some of them may be. They're more about the deal. Like, you know, if the house is worth 100 and you got it under the contract for 30 and he needs 20 grand in work, then that hard money lender knows that if you fuck up, that they're still gonna have $50,000 in equity, and it's no brainer. I want to lend you money on that, dude. You know, I mean, any guy would. If you got a deal that's worth 100 and you got under contract for 30, it only needs 20. Well, even if you're a dumb shit, but as long as, you know, the repairs are the 20, then that hard money lender can lend you the money. You can fuck up, they take the property back and they fix it up and they'll sell it and then they'll keep the profits. So hard money lenders usually know the business, usually know the game, they know the real estate business, they have contractors in place, they know people they can sell the property to, and they're willing to lend you on the deal. So they're not really worried about your credit, you know, some will. And the disadvantages of using hard money lending is that, like anything else, guys, there's going to be significant expense associated with dealing with a business compared to a private. Like if you go to your cousin Julie and she lends you the money, her terms are going to be a lot easier than the hard money terms. When she wants the money back, it's going to be a lot more flexible than when the hard money wants their money back. The points you have to pay to a hard money lender is going to be so much more than your cousin, your nephew, or whoever you're borrowing that money. They're probably not going to even ask for any points, okay? So hard money is a professional lender that's not bank, it's not an institution, okay? Unlike conventional. And their business is usually real estate. They know the real estate game really good, and they're lending on the property instead of your credit, okay? Now, some will use your credit. So if the deal is fucking good, they're willing to lend you the money. Now, to get hard money lending is a lot easier than to get, let's say, conventional loan, okay? And if you're trying to invest, and you definitely can't get an FHA loan, because an FHA loan is a house that you're gonna have to live in. So you have to get a conventional loan, and there's so many you could get, and your debt to income ratio, so etc. That's why a hard money comes into play. They're a lot easier to get a loan from. They're looking at the property, they're looking at the deal. The disadvantage is you have to give them a lot of money up front. You know, they tell you how to dance, when to do everything, and you have to be okay with it because, you know, you're using their fucking money, so they want to micromanage you in a sense, make sure the deal hatches because they have the money into it, okay? Not micromanage you on like, hey, how to put the nail in, but hey, here's the allocation of how much you can spend on this and that, okay? So if that makes any sense. Now, private money is easy to get, it's easier to get, and the terms are really flexible. Sometimes you can do no interest, sometimes you can do, just depends who it is. If it's your cousin, it might be a different story than if, let's say, this Dr. Move Inc. were giving you money, okay? Not that I lend money. I'm not a hard money lender. I thought about being a hard money lender, you know, because I see so many good deals, but I haven't gone that way. And I'm not a private money lender. I don't like to lend people money. I like to just invest my own money. So I don't do any of these. But if a deal ever comes in my table and it's like a really good deal, I might lend hard money. I might lend private money, you know, but at this point in my life, I'm not doing that. Okay, guys? If a deal comes through, I just rather buy it myself instead of just lending it out. Now, in the beginning, I talked about instead of borrowing money from a hard money lender, instead of borrowing money from private money, I don't recommend that, because if you're in a stage where you don't have enough money to do deals, or you're in a stage where, you know, you're new to the game, or you're just an amateur, then it doesn't make any sense to get in debt. And it doesn't make any sense to get in debt from your borrowing money from your friends and family. It surely doesn't make any sense borrowing money from a hard money lender. Okay? And what I recommend for you guys to use is your imagination, your creativity, because you guys live in the best country called America. And in America, you could use creative strategies like subject twos, wraps, basically terms, owner financing, and having the seller carry the note for you. And now there's so many different ways to structure owner financing. I have a video on YouTube that talks about seven different types of owner financing, so go watch that. But my advice to you is, Flores, is that go out there and hustle and bustle, you know, do wholesaling, save some of your money, and then do your own deal with your own cash. Fuck borrowing money from a private or hard money Do your own deals, okay? Now, you're able to save your own money, okay? Once you do a lot of deals, let's say 5, 10, you have success, then if you want to go borrow from a hard money lender to ramp it up, to scale the business, then by all means go do it. But if this is your first 2, 3, 5th deal, then I don't recommend it, because there's other ways to structure deals like creative financing, owner financing, wrap, subject tos, wholesaling, etc. Okay, so try to wholesale deals. If that's not what you're looking for, then try to use creative financing. For example, if the seller in the same equation, the house is worth 100, and you're going to get it under contract for 30, and it needs 20 in repairs, and the seller owns a free and clear, why not work with the seller and let him carry the note? Many ways to structure that, where he carries the note and you pay him when the deal closes, or you could bring him into the deal, what I call the American dream negotiation, where you actually allow him to come into the deal and eat some of your profits with you. So for example, you give him 30 as a note, you don't give him anything at closing, you put 20 into the property, and then whatever you sell after paying closing costs, realtor, all that bullshit, holding fees, whatever is left over is 50 grand. Let's say you subtract another 10, 40 grand. Then you can split the 20 for you, 20 for him, or 10 for him and 30 for you, whatever, okay? And then the good thing with this is you didn't have to go borrow money from a private, you didn't have to go borrow money from hard money. This guy probably give it to you for interest free. You brought him into the deal, so he's probably out there helping you find buyers. So there's a lot of different ways to structure it. You can bring the guy in. If you don't want to bring the guy in, you don't have to. You can give him a note. You can give him some cash now. You can just buy it for cash. If you don't have the cash, you can find another investor to partner up with you, where you could wholesale that deal, make 10 grand. So there's so many different ways to do it besides getting in debt, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. Is because when you go to these REI clubs and when you go to these seminars, and everybody says it's so easy, man, just go borrow some money, and they're absolutely right, dude. It is fucking easy to go borrow some money, and I just don't recommend it for myself, and I don't recommend it for you, and I don't recommend it for my students. Go do 5, 10 deals and have success at it if you want to ramp up and scale your business. If you're in fix and flipper, even if you're a fix and flipper, I would negotiate with owner financing. I would do some kind of wrap, some kind of creative financing, maybe even bring the seller into the equation where I don't have to pay him any money until the deal closes, and I could just put that money into the rehab instead of paying him for the purchase price. And guys, the sellers will do that. If the sellers could get 30, and if you say, hey, Mrs. Seller, what if I give you $10,000 more? I'm gonna rehab this property in 1 month, sell it in 2 or 3 months, and then if you wait 2 or 3 months, I'll give you 40 instead of 30. You don't think they're gonna say yes, dude? Come on, they're gonna make 10 grand, okay? And if they say no, then say, what if I bring you into the equation, whatever the profits are, I'll pay your 30 that we agreed on originally, I'll pay the 20, whatever's left over, we'll split it 40-60 because I'm putting all the labor and all the money, whatever, 60-40, whatever you guys can negotiate. And that is way better than going to a private money, hard money, bringing other people into the equation. Now, one thing my mom always says, she doesn't have a significant education. She's an immigrant. She's actually a refugee. She probably doesn't even read, or she's illiterate. But she said that, hey, if partnership was good, then God would have a partner. And I'm not a religious guy, but it kind of makes sense, dude. So I don't like to partner up with, let's say, private money or with another investor or hard money. I just like to do a deal myself. And so if I'm going to partner with anybody, I want to have the guys home that we're dealing with, because he's the one that's actually lending me the money. He's the one that's actually willing to believe in me, because nobody else believed in me. So why not allow him to eat off the table? Why should I be so fucking greedy? Or I can wholesale it. I can do so many different things with it. So in the story, Flores, I know it took a little longer. You have the option to borrow money. It sounds really easy, but don't put yourself at risk, man. Go out there and grind it out, dude. You can get deals, make money wholesaling, or you can use owner financing, and it will be a little bit harder, but man, the muscles you're gonna build by doing those pull-ups, it's gonna be definitely worth it for you, guy. And thanks for watching. Go out there and hustle and bustle, and I like your rapping, dude. Keep it up. See ya.